You have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation, you get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own, everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you've just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street.
Hey, sit down. I'm dealing with gun violence.
What do you think about Hunter?
Because make no mistake, sit down, you'll hear what I have to say.
What do you think about Hunter, your son? There's a video of him arguing with a cooker about how much crack he has. What do you think about that, Mr. President?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. So wow, absolutely wow. I'm a bit shocked, to be honest, guys. I have just seen the video of Hunter. I'm not going to say his full name because probably get demonetized. But yeah, I've seen the full video. He's with loads of pros, if you know what I mean. Taking loads of, let's say, C, and absolutely shocking, and you can see from the first video, the first clip I showed you of his father basically coming hard on CC users, and yeah, in the middle of the video had a big smile in his face. But there's some other shocking videos and shocking images basically coming out of that leak, and basically there's pictures of his father naked. I'm really trying hard, guys, not to get demonetized. I'm sure most of you probably know by now. All you have to do is go on Twitter and you just type in Biden and type in, you know, associated words that go with it, and you will see images of him, images of his father, and let's just say criminal prosecutions are taking place as we stand. He's not going to last long as a president. He isn't. And I think that all of this that's happening isn't a coincidence. You know, I think a lot of people knew about all of this stuff way before Biden became president. They knew about it, but they kept it, you know, they kept it under lock and key, and they thought, you know what, let's keep it under lock and key. If Biden is a good president, he does what we ask for. He fixes the economy. He does great things for America. Then yeah, it's fine. You know, we'll leave it under lock and key. But if we want this guy out, if we want him to get the hell out of the office, then we'll release it. And that's what they've done. You know, there are people with a lot of power in the United States, and they obviously had a lot of dirt on his son, but they didn't want to release it last year or when Biden came into power, because, you know, they probably liked him back then. But now, with all of these economic issues that Biden is having, with all the problems he's having at home, his approval rating, and a lot of people have decided they want him out, absolutely want him out. And you've seen what happens to Boris. Basically, it's a scandal, and it's not even Boris's son. It's some scandal about some Tory backbencher touching up boys or whatever. And Boris, and you've seen what happens to Boris just for that. And you can imagine the same thing's going to be happening to Biden, but much, much worse. I'm surprised that Biden, with his age, has not had a heart attack by now. He's running a country. He's under constant pressure. He's having to deal with all of this. Why is he not having a heart attack? I just don't get it. Is he on some sort of heart machine or some sort of adrenaline shot every day or something? I just don't know how he keeps going with all this pressure on his head. He's getting more pressure than Trump had in his heyday. Absolutely ridiculous. But let me tell you something, he's an absolute hypocrite though. You know, you can see from the clip, he's talking about zero tolerance with drug users and things like that. But when it comes to his own son, nothing. And he's like, in this first clip, the judges don't have a choice. They will have to give them 5 years for that, and if you carry anything smaller than a dime. His son is shown like measuring something 100 times bigger than a dime. He was arguing with Prosses. Oh my god, some of these clips are horrendous. I wish I can show you in these videos, but my channel is going to get shut down immediately. If you want, like, if you want, and you guys want me to request it, I'm happy to do a full video and post you on my Patreon and on my locals. So I'm happy to do that, do an uncut version for you. Only if my Patreons and locals so request it. So if you want it, just let me know. If not, then I'll just leave it. But what a hypocrite. You know, what a hypocrite. Absolute hypocrite. And there's also other videos, and there's pictures of Biden with no teeth because he's been taking so much crack. He's literally ruined his teeth. And there's pictures of him with a girl, and she looks underage. You know, there's some serious effed up shit, you know, that's been released. Some serious stuff. I'm just still shocked. So you might think, why now? Why release it now? It's not a coincidence. You know, this is no coincidence. And guess what? Macron is having leadership issues as well. They're asking Macron to step down. You know, there's something going on. Like I said in my previous videos, there are people who are way above running the show, way above president status, way above prime minister status, and they decide what goes on in the world and what doesn't. So there is, like I said, it's no coincidence. Biden, you know, Boris was the first to go, and he's only, like, say, a week ago, somebody decided Boris needs to go, and they'd released some sort of scandal. It wasn't even a big scandal, it wasn't even his fault, and they decided that's the scandal to get rid of Boris. They're doing the same thing with Biden now, and they're going to be doing the same thing to other world leaders. And these world leaders are probably, you know, excuse my French, but they're probably shitting themselves right now. All of these world leaders, 6 months ago, they were in a room. They were all putting their hands up saying, yeah, I want to sanction Russia bigger than you. My sanctions are bigger than yours. No, my sanctions are bigger than yours. And they're all trying to outdo each other, seeing who does the biggest sanction against Russia. And they're all, like, you know, foaming at their mouths, singing, yeah, these sanctions are going to destroy the ruble. Yeah, these sanctions are going to destroy Putin. He's going to be out of power. And they're all celebrating around this round table, and they're all happy and jolly. And look at them now. Absolutely, look at them now. Absolutely ridiculous. Shameful. Shameful, guys. So talking of shameful, this guy is back. Zelensky is basically slamming Canada. So the reason he's slamming Canada is Canada and Germany have agreed to send some parts to fix some Russian pipes, and Germany has been literally begging Canada to bypass these sanctions and give them these pipes and parts so Russia can fix those pipes and send gas to Germany. So Zelensky's not been happy about it, and Zelensky's basically saying the Canadian leader is weak. This was his own words. The Canadian leader is weak, he said. Of course the Canadian leader is weak. Everybody knows that. But is Zelensky allowed to say that? I don't think so. I think Zelensky is weak. You know, he's sending out hundreds and thousands or millions of his own people to their deaths. And for what? For Biden? For Boris? These guys are going to be out of power, so what's he going to do? Anyway, talking of Trudeau, he really is weak, to be honest. I mean, you just have to see what he did throughout his tenure. You know, Trump said arrest Meng Wanzhou, he arrested her. Biden said, you know, crack down on these truckers, he did so. You know, whatever is asked of him, he does. You know, it's crazy. It's just crazy how people re-voted for him, to be honest. Absolutely crazy. This guy's ruining Canada. You know, Canada has one of the most richest, you know, gas and oil deposits in the world. So why isn't Canada rich like Saudi Arabia? Why isn't Canada rich like Russia? Why isn't Canada rich like all the other Middle East countries? Why? I'll tell you why. Because they haven't nationalized any of these mineral deposits. They've all been given away to American companies to exploit. So all of these profits, all of this money from, you know, gas pipelines and Keystone and, you know, oil deposits, they're all being run by American conglomerates. Trudeau has pretty much let them in and sold the Canadians to the Americans. And this is why Canada is not making much money. Yeah, Canada's in the G7, but Canada, trust me, Canada does not make that much money. You know, America exploits all of Canada's natural resources, and Trudeau's letting them. It's a shame. It's a shame how Canadians are not seeing this. If they knew about this, then it would be different. If there's any Canadians who want to chat to me about it, you know, let's discuss it. You know, compare Canada to Saudi Arabia, for example, who have nationalized Aramco. So Saudi Arabia makes most of the money that comes from oil and gas. They're not given away to American companies. So if you want to talk about your natural resources and how you've sold all of your natural resources and contracts to American companies, then let me know. We'll chat. Anyway, let's carry on talking about Zelensky, shall we? So I'm coming up to my first idiot of the day story. And the first idiot of the day story is Zelensky's looking to replace a statue of Catherine the Great with a gay porn star. And I'm not joking with you. This is actually happening, and there's a petition for this to happen, and Zelensky is apparently considering it. So he wants to replace one of the heroes of Ukraine, Catherine the Great, in Odessa, with a monument to Billy Harrington, who's a gay porn star. I mean, when I first heard this, I just end up laughing. I just laughed my head off, guys. And I was laughing my head off for another particular reason. which is off topic, by the way, but I need to get this off my chest. I went to the cinema this weekend, and I watched one of my favourite comic heroes, Thor. And those of you who know me very well, I'm a very big comic fan. I'm a big, Marvel fan. I am a nerd at heart. I do collect a lot of comics. I do know a lot about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've seen all the films. Grew up with loving comics and superheroes. So, Thor was one of my favorite characters. So talking of gay porn stars, they literally have destroyed my my Thor movie. So you can see here by the title, Thor Love and Thunder, the super gay tone female Thor and Russell Crowe discuss with spoilers. So basically, apparently it's a super gay film, and when I watched it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, because probably some of you have not seen it, but all I can say to you is it's just super gay. It's probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Every single character in this film was gay. I'm not joking, by the way, including Thor. They made him super gay in this film, or bi, or whatever. There's a bit where he looks into Star-Lord's eyes, and I'm not even gonna go there. And there's a rock monster called Korg. Guess what? They make him gay. Valkyrie's gay. Natalie Portman. I'm not gonna. I don't even know what she's doing in this film. They had some great actors in this film. They had Christian Bale, who's a great actor, A-lister. Russell Crowe, Academy Award winner in Gladiator. He's a great actor. Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth. There were some great actors in this movie, and they spoilt it, absolutely spoilt it by making it so gay. They had all of these rainbow colours, like the pride flag everywhere, gay themes. And this film has been banned in so many countries as well. You can see it's been banned in China, it's been banned in Middle East, because of all these gay themes. And looking at the numbers, the film apparently is not doing very well at the moment, and I'm not surprised. It's got budget of 250 million, and the special effects look like some child did it. Absolutely crappy special effects, the worst special effects I've ever seen in my life. This film looked rushed, and it was just a horrible film in every single way. You know what? I'm just done with Marvel now. I am absolutely done with Marvel. This is the last Marvel film I'm going to see in my life. I guarantee if I talk about any other Marvel movies, then come and shoot me, please. Anyway, I'm going to talk a bit about Elon Musk. So, Elon Musk's space booster rocket exploded again. And he's recently been in the headlines because his 44 billion Twitter takeover deal has fallen through. And the reason it's fallen through is because apparently there's a lot of fake accounts in Twitter. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, why does Twitter have so many fake accounts? I'll tell you why. This is how they manipulate and brainwash the public. So if somebody needs to get cancelled in Twitter, if somebody doesn't have a good opinion or is away from the narrative, guess what? They send this fake Twitter army account after you. I think Elon said there's about 40 million fake accounts or something. It's not a small number. It's a huge number we're talking about. And there's hundreds and thousands of blue check marks in there as well. So why should Elon Musk buy that shit? It's fraud. They're selling him a social media, basically company with fake accounts. Why should he buy that? And they're saying, oh, they're going to sue Elon Musk. Well, he's going to sue you. Look, I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, but I think he did the right thing by pulling out of Twitter. And I think they use these fake Twitter accounts to basically target people, cancel people, and they also use it to brainwash people as well. So imagine the first week of the war with Russia and Ukraine. Can you imagine all the shit that was coming out on Twitter, all the fake news, Ghost of Kiev's? I bet all of that was being spread by all of these fake accounts. And I wouldn't be surprised. And this is how Twitter, and this is how these tech companies and the governments control the masses. This is how they do it. With social media, with fake accounts. They cancel anyone that has an opinion, and they brainwash the rest. That's how they do it. So talking about Elon Musk, and like I said, I'm not his greatest fan. You know, he basically has been bragging about giving internet to the Azovs using his Starlink satellites. And if I was Elon Musk, I'd be really careful what he says, because the Chinese are looking at you, mate. If you try anything like that, if there's a war over Taiwan, for example, and you try to give Taiwan some satellite access or anything like that, guess what? The Chinese are not going to mess around. They're going to blow up all of your satellites, and they're already planning for it right now. Not only that, they're going to kick you and Tesla out of China as well. So imagine kicking Tesla out of China. Can you imagine how much money they would lose? You know, they would literally go bankrupt overnight. So, I mean, I like Elon. I used to like him anyway, but, you know, recently he's gotten very, very arrogant. He's also talking about sending men to Mars as well, which I think is absolutely stupid and deadly. I mean, look at this. SpaceX booster rocket exploded, and he wants to send people to Mars like next year or something. I mean, does anyone know how hard it is to send people to Mars? I mean, I know a lot about space. And in fact, if I didn't have a geopolitics channel, I would probably be talking about the stars and astronomy and things like that. So, people don't understand how difficult it is to send a person to Mars. I mean, you can send a rocket or a drone. It's no problem, but sending people is different. You know, you're talking about sending someone on a 2-year trip to Mars, and if you want to make it shorter, like 9 months, you know, you only have a 30-day window every couple of years, and you got to send it during that window, and you might be able to get to Mars within 9 months or 10 months, but average time takes about 2 years. Not only that, if there's a mistake, for example, and these humans need some help, what are you going to do? Send a rocket over and it's going to get there in 2 years. You might be able to send it in there in 10 months, but can you imagine the expense? There is no way Elon Musk would be able to do that. And not only that, you know, it's an untested environment. You know, there's a lot of issues with Mars. There's issues with radiation. There's issues with obviously the gravity, because it's not the same mass as Earth. There's obviously issues with the atmosphere. There's issues with sun rays as well, solar radiation. There's a lot of issues, and we just don't have the technology to send people to Mars just yet. You know, I think he should just focus on the moon first, and, you know, test out technology on the moon, because there's a lot of technology, still a lot of people that needs to be tested on long-term travel. And it's crazy what he's doing. He's putting these lives in danger. I just think it's wrong, to be honest. And, you know, if you want to colonize a planet, it's much easier to colonize or terraform Venus. Because one thing that people don't realize is to terraform Mars, it's almost impossible. for a number of reasons. I mean, you can increase the carbon dioxide in Mars, make it hotter, put some atmosphere in there, grow plants and stuff. Even if you turn the planet green and put water in there. And putting water in there is another issue, by the way. Obviously, people are talking about sending asteroids into Mars, hitting it with comets, because comets have a lot of water. But even if you make the planet green and blue, you still got an issue with gravity. Mars has got only 1/3 of the gravity of Earth. So how are you going to live there? It's impossible. If you're used to Earth's gravity and you go to Mars, you're going to be jumping from skyscraper to skyscraper. You're not going to know what's going on. And if you're born in Mars and you have kids in Mars and it's got 1/3 of the gravity, can you imagine how different people are going to be that are Martian? People don't think about that. People don't realize that it's much easier to terraform Venus, because Venus's mass is much closer to Earth's. So if you terraform Venus, plus it's a twin planet, it's much closer to Earth as well. The only problem with Venus is too hot, and the problem with Mars is too cold. But if you need to terraform a planet, it's much easier to terraform Venus, or you can live in the clouds in Venus as well. They're talking about life in the Venus's clouds as well. They're sending some probes out there, which will get there in the next few years, and just to check kind of bacteria living in the skies. So hopefully they find something soon. But yeah, I think it's absolutely stupid, Elon Musk's plan to go to Mars. And somebody asked him once, I remember somebody asked him once, how are you gonna improve the Mars atmosphere and increase Mars's temperature? And do you know what he said? He says he's going to nuke Mars. That's his answer. He's going to nuke the North Pole and the South Pole. Who's going to give him nukes? And why would you nuke another planet? And that's his answer, is it? Seriously. Do not give this guy the keys to the castle. I'm talking about Mars. This guy will probably destroy it. Anyway, let's move on, guys. So it looks like the BBC is in big trouble. So they basically initially started off this story about the SAS killing unarmed civilians in Afghanistan and killing Afghan refugees and detainees. And the BBC came out with this story, and the Ministry of Defence had said BBC is being very irresponsible by releasing the story and and I just don't think BBC gives an F anymore, because BBC are going to be going under over the next few years. The government has already said that they're not going to be supporting BBC. They're not going to be helping it anymore over the next few years. They will abolish the license fee, and already there are over 1 million people who have not been paying the license fee in UK, and it's rising. Every month there's about 100,000-200,000 people who'll stop paying, and there is a big drive of people who are not paying for the licenses, and the BBC can't really do anything about it. People had enough of their woke programming and all of their fake news, and suddenly they release a bit of news which is not fake, which is actually real, and they're getting absolutely hammered for it by the Ministry of Defence and the government. So I'm a good firm believer in, if you do something right, I will respect you. I will kind of give you your kudos. If you do something wrong, I will say it right in front of your face. So this is the time when I will say, yeah, you did something right, BBC, well done. It doesn't make you good after all the crappy stories you've been coming out with over the last God knows how many years. But this is a step in the right direction. So keep doing what you're doing right now, and maybe you might get some respect from people, and people might start paying for license fees again, because nobody respects the BBC anymore. They know it's all just fake news, woke programming. We're all tired of this shit. I don't even pay the license anymore. I don't even watch BBC, or I don't even have a television, to be honest. You know, I just don't bother with televisions. It's just a waste of time. You know, the whole world is being made dumb using televisions and fake media and social media. This is how the governments keep you dumb, and they keep you dumb so you don't go out there, protest, or, you know, say something which is not part of the narrative. And so if the government can keep you dumb, keep you stupid, then you're not gonna go out and protest when suddenly your inflation goes up by 100% and you're paying all of these gas bills, your bills have gone up, your mortgages have gone up, you're struggling to eat, you're struggling to make ends meet, but you're still not going to protest out there because you've been made dumb. And this is how the government controls the people. They keep them dumb. You know, they make them watch these woke nonsense television programs. They make them watch these fake news BBC programs, all these crappy reality shows like Love Island. You know, I met this girl the other day, and we're just friends, by the way. I'm not saying not a date or anything like that. We're just like friends, and all she can talk about is Love Island. And she's like, "Oh, did you watch Love Island? Did you see this bit, this bit?" I'm like, "Oh, please, just shut up, will you?" I just walked out and said, "You know what? I got somewhere to go." I just got up and left because I was just so bored. I was just literally bored. And that's what's happening to the generation. People know more about what's happening in Love Island than they know about what's happening in their own country or the world. And this is how the government keeps people dumb. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And that film, I don't know if anyone has seen a film. It's called Idiocracy. And if you have not seen it, I would definitely recommend it. It was made 20 years ago. And it's a story about this guy who he gets put on ice, and they release it after, like, you know, 50 years or something like that. And when they release it, he's one of the most cleverest guys in the whole world, because he grows up, you know, he basically comes alive at a time when the whole population has been turned dumb by the governments, and there's no rational thinking, there's no common sense anymore. Everyone's hooked on reality TV, everyone's hooked on social media. They get all of their news from social media. They know more about reality TV than they know about what's going on in the world. And that's a problem. And it's a real film. It's been made 20 years ago, and there's so many accurate descriptions about what's happening right now. It is so accurate. If you have not seen it, I would definitely recommend it. That is a good film. Not the trash that I saw, like the Love and Thunder Thor or something. They don't make cinema films like they used to. You know, I remember the days when I used to watch a film and it used to make me think, you know, and films like Usual Suspects and, you know, Seven and Pulp Fiction even. You know, there were some great cinema films back in the day. Nowadays, it's just all woke trash. You just switch off your brain, go to the cinema, switch off your brain and watch some woke trashy film with no storyline, no script. Just a bunch of flashing colours in front of your face, and that's it. No story, no nothing, no acting. Absolutely ridiculous. It's shocking how bad films have gone these days. Absolutely shocking. So talking about this, I mean, everybody knows the British had been doing lots of illegal activity It wasn't just them, it was Americans as well. It was also the Australians. There's some clips of the Australians which are slashing kids' throats and things like that. So I'm not surprised, to be honest. Absolutely not surprised. And you know, the less I talk about it, the better. It's absolutely shocking, to be honest, guys. So this guy is still in power, and they're trying everything they can to get him out of power. And it reminds me of a really naughty kid. You're trying to get out of your house. You know, you just don't like this kid, and you want him to get out. You want him to get out of your room, so you're trying to push him out, and he's holding on to pillar and post, and he's like, "No, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave." And you're trying to push him out, you're trying to kick him out, he just wouldn't budge, he just wouldn't go, he's holding on for his life. And this is Boris, trying to hold on to power that he doesn't have. Holding on for dear life, because he wants that military industrial complex money. He wants that money that is going to Ukraine, being funneled off to leaders such as himself. Because, you know, everything that he does for Ukraine, all of the trips that he goes to Ukraine for, you know he's got his own interest in mind. He's not interested in the British public. If he was interested in the British public, he would be staying in Britain, sorting out this mess, instead of flying off to Ukraine every 5 minutes and giving all our money to Ukraine. I'm sure he's been promised something. You know, by the military industrial complex, or the neocons have said, you know what, Boris, you keep this up and we'll give you millions or billions, whatever you need. You know, you'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You'll be the next Tony Blair. I mean, look at Tony Blair. He started that war with Iraq. It's proved to be false. It's proved to be false information. He got proof that he lied. And guess what? He's a billionaire. He's got mansions all over the world. He's got so much money, Tony Blair. He's just drowning in money. His name is on the Pandora Papers as well. So you see, you know, you push for wars, you get paid. And that's how you win. That's how you make money in this world. You know, the defense contractors will pay you, the military industrial complex will pay you, politicians will pay you for pushing the war, because you're basically all in their interest. You're making them money by pushing the war. It's crazy. So now we come to Rishi Sunak, and there's a clip going around about Rishi Sunak when he was a younger kid, and you can tell how annoying this kid is. You know, if I was Rishi Sunak's age and I met Rishi Sunak for the first time in my life, I swear I would bully him. And I'm not a bully, I've never bullied anyone in my life, but I would bully him because he is that annoying. Basically, he comes on the clip and he says, "Oh, I have rich friends, I have aristocratic friends, I have working class friends." Then he turns around and says, no, I don't have any working class friends. And his father's sitting next to him, and his father's Indian, and he looks at the camera and smiles. He goes, "Well done, my son, so proud of you, well done. My son has no working class friends, my son has only got aristocratic friends. My son is a good boy." I will show you the clip. Absolutely hilarious.
I have friends who are aristocrats, I have friends who are upper class, I have friends who are, you know, working class, but not working class, but I mix and match. And then I go to see kids from an inner city state school and tell them, you know, to apply to Oxford and talk to them about people like me, and then I shock them at the end of chatting to them for half an hour and tell them I was at Winchester and, you know, one of my best friends is from Eton or whatever, you know, and then they're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, I'm from Winchester. Jolly good, young boy. Jolly, good. Well done. You see what I mean? This guy is so annoying. This guy seems like he has forgotten all of his roots, and he pretends that he's white. He looks at himself in the mirror. He doesn't see any brown skin. Oh my god. And you see his dad looks at the camera and he's like so proud of his boy. So proud that he's lost his roots. And now this guy, he's absolutely destroyed the economy. You know, he's put the economy in a really, really bad state. And what do people think that he would do when he comes to power? He's going to make it into a worse state. You know, his economic chancellor thing has absolutely destroyed the country in every way possible. Oh my god, I can't believe this guy thinks he can lead the Tory party. I mean, what a joke, what a joke. And obviously this clip has gone viral everywhere. It's gone viral in India, by the way, and Indians are absolutely slating him. Absolutely slating him. Indians are like, you know what, this guy has lost touch with reality, lost touch with not only working class people in England, but he's lost touch with his Indian roots as well. And Indian people are absolutely slating him. And if you're an Indian and you want to discuss this with me, please, you know, email me or go in the comment section. But I have seen a few Indian papers who are absolutely destroying this guy right now. They're all calling him a joke, worse a clown than Boris, and that is saying something. And guess what? There is, like I said, you know, I said in so many of my videos that Liz Truss would be the next Prime Minister. I told you this. I know how the British government works, and I know how the American government works. They want a puppet who's going to be tough on Russia, tough on China, and Liz Truss basically ticks all those boxes. She says all the right things to please her masters, the pleased masters in America, and they will put out all stops to make sure she's the next leader. And all of these guys who are just wasting time, they're not going to get anywhere. Liz Truss will be the next PM, like Boris was the next PM after the last Prime Minister resigned over Brexit. You know, there are powers, you know, that we have no control over that decide these things. The voters don't decide. These certain powers in UK, they decide who's the next leader and who's not. So they've decided that Boris is not going to be the next leader, but they have already made up their mind who's going to be the next leader. And it just makes sense, absolutely makes sense. And all roads are pointing to Liz Truss. All roads are pointing to Liz Truss. And the funny thing about Liz Truss is she has failed in every single post she has been on in the cabinets. Every single post she has been on, she has failed. She's failed as a trade minister, she's failed as a foreign minister, and she's going to fail as a PM as well. I just can't believe people are even considering her. She will absolutely destroy the country, and the day she becomes Prime Minister is the day I'm going to start thinking of leaving UK, because that's it for me. That's it. Okay guys, now I'm going to talk a bit of economics, and you can see here it says dollar is stronger than the euro for the first time in 20 years. And everybody knows why, because the euro is really struggling, because they have shot themselves in the foot like a circular firing squad by placing all of these ridiculous sanctions against Russia. And this is what happens. Now they're having to pay for higher gas, higher oil, and their industry is struggling. They're all running into recession, and the dollar is still the world's reserve currency. You know, you still you trade with the dollar with all the gas and oil that's happening around the world. The Middle East is still kind of selling their oil in dollars, like Saudi Arabia and Qatar. America itself is selling dollars, gas and oil in dollars as well, selling it to Europe. And so the dollar is still the reserve currency, and it's making a killing because of the high gas and oil prices, and that's why, you know, euro is struggling, because they're having to buy a lot more expensive oil and gas from America instead of the cheap oil and gas they were getting from Russia. And in return, you know, people are struggling to make ends meet, people are struggling to pay the bills, companies are struggling to keep afloat, because when you have high oil and gas prices, everything becomes expensive in a business. For example, if you want to order raw materials for your business, then you got to ship them from halfway around the world, transport them, and all of that stuff needs gas, all of that stuff needs oil. You know, transport costs are ridiculous, and raw materials have gone up, the price of goods have gone up, everything's gone up, labor's gone up. You know, businesses are struggling in Europe, and in return, this is why the euro is falling compared to the dollar. And Europe is a very much an import rather than an export business. I mean, a block. Most of the country import goods rather than export goods. They don't really have much of a manufacturing anymore. The only country with a little bit of a manufacturing was Germany, and that's going down. But the rest of Europe, they're very much a import heavy block. So this means that they import more than they export, and with the really weak euro and really strong dollar, they're having to import a lot more expensive goods from around the world, more expensive gas and oil, and this becomes like a circular motion, a circular domino. So the weaker the euro gets, the more expensive the gas and oil gets when they buy it from America, Middle East. So it's just a never-ending cycle, and things just going to get worse and worse. But they deserve it, to be honest. Ursula deserves it. Ursula was standing up on stage, and she was proud of putting all these sanctions on Russia. She was so proud, standing up saying, we have sanctioned Russia, their economy is going down, their ruble is going down. She promised all of that to the Europeans, and guess what? None of it came into effect. And guess what? You'll notice that she's not much on the news anymore, because one by one her mates are being destroyed. Her mates are going one by one. Boris is gone. Macron has basically having really serious leadership issues in France. He's going to be pushed out very soon. Scholz is going to be pushed out in Germany. There are leaders in Europe who are being pushed out one by one. So Ursula, her time will come. Her time will definitely come sooner rather than later. And you'll realize she has really shut up. You don't hear much from her anymore. So finally, I want to talk about the final Idiot of the Day story. And the Idiot of the Day story is basically the US and all its allies are blaming Iran for giving Russia drones, basically. So it's absolutely hilarious that they are blaming Iran for it, because first of all, Iran is the second highest sanctioned country in the world. They have placed hundreds and thousands of sanctions in Iran for years now. You know, more than 20 years, I believe. Could be more, I can't remember. But they had sanctions on Iran for years. They've had no access to medicine, no access to the oil market, no access to anything. And everything that they are doing is by themselves. You know, they're manufacturing goods themselves. They get no help from the West whatsoever. Their whole military is basically down to their own, with a little bit of help maybe from the Chinese or the Russians as well. But most of it is, you know, homegrown. Their rockets and drones, for example. And the drones are basically based on Chinese designs, but, you know, end of the day, the whole point is the West has never helped Iran. In fact, they've been kicking Iran down for all of these years. And suddenly, Iran is giving drones to Russia, and the West is basically saying, what the F? Iran, you need to stop that, mate. Stop giving them drones. As if they can ask Iran what to do, what not to do. Like the West is shocked that Iran can produce drones by itself and give to Russia. They're not even selling it to Russia, by the way. This story is basically saying that Iran is gifting Russia all of these drones. So can you believe that shit? That Iran is so rich that they can afford to basically give out drones to Russia. And the Americans and the British and the Europeans are absolutely freaking out. They're absolutely freaking out. They're like, bloody hell, what the hell is going on? We have sanctioned Russia to the max. We have sanctioned Iran to the max. How the hell is Iran affording to give out all of these drones to Russia? And how do we stop them doing it? It's absolutely beggars belief. It's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, that's all for now. Let me know what you guys think. It's been a long one today. A lot to go through, a lot of articles. So thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe. And you can also join my Patreon as well. And locals. And I really appreciate all the support, guys, you are giving. So, you know, as you know, there's a few guys who have been cancelled for speaking the truth. I'm talking about the Duran Alex. I believe he's been banned for like a week. So it's really important you kind of show us support. People like myself, people like Alex and others as well. What we're doing is very risky. We can get cancelled any minute. Lucky for Duran and Alex, they have a very big following. So not only just YouTube, but really big following on Rumble, really big following on other channels as well, ODYSEE and locals. So they get a really big following. They get loads of money through their Patreons. Loads of people support them. So if they get cancelled, it's not really a big deal for them. But for people like myself, it is a big deal. I don't have as many followers. I don't have as many Patreons. I don't have as many locals. So if I get cancelled, it's pretty game over for me. Small channels like myself, and that would be it for me, really. I really can't do anything else, just at the mercy of YouTube. So your support really helps a lot. It helps me become independent from YouTube, helps me grow my channel as well. So I really appreciate all the help and support you guys are giving. I need around 100 Patreons or 100 altogether, Patreons or locals, whichever one you prefer, to actually be independent. So if I can get to that level, it'll be amazing. But if you can't support in that way, you're welcome to just like and share and do what you can to help the algorithm. Really appreciate it. And with the live chats, I'm starting to do some live chats now. I'm talking to some Patreon members. I've got a few Patreon members scheduled to talk to over the next few weeks. I've got some chats with Alex. Like I said before on my channel, I've got some few celebrities, and Alex is definitely a celebrity. So I'm chatting to him again tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. And also there's a few others who have got back to me as well, who want to kind of arrange some calls with me as well. So we'll see. I'm starting to grow the channel now. I'm starting to do a lot more stuff, starting to get more recognized. So I just want to keep it going. I do like what I'm doing. I do love talking about geopolitics, but like I said, I'm at the mercy of YouTube at the moment, so they can cancel me anytime and I'll be it for me. There's not much I can do. So anyway, that's all for now. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for all your help so far, and I'll see you guys soon.